Hey, all you freaks and geeks out there in podcast land. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Frank and Angie's Pizzeria, located at 508 West Avenue, just off 6th Street in Austin, Texas, in the heart of downtown. Frank and Angie's has been serving up the tastiest pizza pies, sandwiches, calzones, and baked eggplant provolone so good you'll question everything you've ever eaten up until that point. That's Frank and Angie's Pizzeria, established in 1995 in the heart of downtown Austin. You can give them a ring at 512-472-3534 or visit them at frankandangie'spizzeria.com. Once again, that's Frank and Angie's Pizzeria, 512-472-3534 or visit them online at frankandangie'spizzeria.com. And now, on to the show. Wednesday, September 9th. Welcome, Freaks and Geeks, to the Doctor's Orders podcast with the 512 Foot Doctor. I am your host, the 512 Foot Doctor. If you are a returning freak or geek, thank you for returning. And if you are joining us for the first time, thank you as well. Today, I'm joined by my guest, fellow Austinite, Aaron Salviduro. What's up, bud? How's it going?
Good, man. Good. Nothing much. Just happy to be here.
Excellent.
Honored to be here.
For sure. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure being here and enjoying the amenities that you have laid out for us. And
this is the second episode. So
sweet.
The wheels are still turning, and we're still trying to gain traction. Well, wherever we go, wherever we take this.
Let's get it, man.
Excellent, man.
Balls to the wall.
So how you been?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just hanging in there.
For sure.
You know, trying to muster the courage to keep going through this 2020 that we're living through.
There's a lot going down, man. I mean, we're coming down on the back half of it, if you can even realize that. It is moving along fast. However, it's moving. But again, I'm glad you're here, man. I'm glad you're breaking episode number 2 in for us.
The deuce.
So I want to talk about. We went to the same high school.
Right.
One big thing about my previous episode was my guest in the last episode, Trent Albert, and we came to a very small but large realization that we, before we knew each other, were in the same place at the same time at the same moment, and we didn't even know it. Right. Now, in relation to you, you were born in Austin, as the intro states, and as my name states, I was born in Austin as well. But you moved to a different, you can call it a town. It was a very small town. You moved to a small town.
Yeah.
Do you remember what grade you were in when you moved?
I don't. I remember coming to Lockhart and just being in junior high. So
junior high.
Yeah.
Okay. So was that
what grade? What age would that be?
Was that 6th, or was that the start of the junior high, or was
it might have been I think in 8th grade.
8th grade.
Yeah, 8th grade or 9th grade.
No shit. So what school?
But see, a year after I got to Lockhart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was already at the high school, I believe.
Really? Yeah. Okay, so a year after you got there, so you had to be in 8th grade. No, it depends, because you were already there. Then you were 9th grade then.
I went to they have a freshman campus. Yeah, okay, so I went there.
Now, what school, because we're in a very similar boat, you and I.
Okay.
What school did you go to in Austin?
Ortega.
Yeah. Okay. That's a middle school. Okay. What about elementary? You remember that?
That was Ortega.
Ortega.
Yeah.
What about?
I think Ortega went.
So what junior high did you go to? So you are. I think you were thinking that you were about to say.
I would have went to Martin.
No.
I would have went to Martin. Okay. So if I didn't go to Martin, that means I started junior high.
Yeah.
In Lockhart, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I hear what you're saying there. Both. So you're from East Austin.
Yeah.
Okay. So all right. So you're going to school in Austin at these two schools, and then you pop up in this town, this rural town outside of Austin, and you're going. So now you're at sixth, seventh, and eighth grade there. Dang. So you did sixth through through graduation there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I myself, I went to a school in Austin, um, Riley Elementary,
Okay.
from whenever I could go into where's that at?
Yeah. Riley.
Do you remember where Highland Mall was?
Yes.
It's right like
Across the street.
across
in
the
that
train
neighborhood?
tracks. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, the DPS office, I believe they have
Right.
stuff over there. Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, that's where I went to elementary from. What do they call it? Pre-K up until the up until the sixth, up until the fifth grade. The fifth grade.
Okay.
And at that point, when I was in the fifth grade, no, the fourth grade. After fourth grade, we up and left to that same small town that you were talking about, and I started my education there from when was that fifth grade until graduation as well.
Nice.
So
And what year did you graduate?
2009.
Okay, so yeah, I was
2009.
07.
Yeah. So that's very interesting. Like, I don't know if you want to talk about this, but like, what did you do? Because I was just shell shocked to be taken from this like very centralized area of Austin. There's so much in my area like that I would do. I would ride my bike everywhere. Like you were saying that there was a mall, like I was saying, there was a mall very close to the elementary school, and I lived close to the school. I would ride my bike to school, and I had things to do there. But then when we're just shoveled off to this very rural town, podunk town, what'd you do?
I think
Were you in the city limits area, or were you rural?
no, I was rural. Yeah. So
Internet sucked.
So where I found my peace was music.
Oh, really?
Dude, I remember I probably had headphones on every day.
Yeah. At home?
Just at home,
Yeah.
at school,
Yeah.
wherever. And
Now-
I just remember music being
Prominent.
the very prominent
Yeah.
since then. And I think it's part of that separation when you move, you don't know what to do.
kind of
so you found
it's a loner, you know.
Yeah,
you kind of
it consoles you, man. Yeah.
You're out there solo because you took off from all your buddies that were in the city, and now you start this fresh, this new chapter.
Right.
And yeah, I would say that I relate on that as well. I did want to like kind of offshoot a question. You said you had headphones in pretty much constantly. What device were those headphones plugged into? And was there a phase of devices? Did it change? What was it? What do you
CD
remember?
players.
CD
CD players.
Yeah.
Man, I still have maybe a couple hundred CDs.
Yeah, me too.
You know,
That's great. That's great.
Which in itself holds value.
Yeah.
You know, just because no one can ever wipe that off your laptop, or you can't.
Yeah.
You know, no one could destroy that. I mean,
It could break, but as long as you take care of it,
it's
for
going to
sure.
last forever.
Yeah,
you know, it's not going nowhere. That stuff is solidified, man.
Yeah, that's great. That's excellent. Yeah, for a CD player, at that time in my life, I remember listening to, what was it? Oh, well, before I get to that, what I was listening to,
Okay.
I remember like the first CD I purchased when I got to that town at the Walmart. So I was a sucker. I purchased a CD at the Walmart, and in all honesty, that's the only place you could purchase a CD in that town was the Walmart. So purchasing a CD at Walmart at that time, it was like pre-2000, I believe. If not, it was
Very early.
It was
2000s.
01.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you purchase a CD at Walmart at that time, They're all edited. They are all edited.
Yeah.
So I purchased
That was so strange.
and I don't know if they are anymore, but yeah, who cares?
Right.
You can purchase the stuff you want elsewhere and not support a mogul like that. But the CD was Nelly's Nellyville. Oh, it was great, but it was edited. Remember, it was edited, so it wasn't that great. Hold your horses there. But yeah, that's like the first CD I remember listening or purchasing on the New Chapter of Life there.
Wow, my first CD I've ever purchased.
Yeah.
I bought many from that Walmart, mind you.
And they sucked.
They sucked. But before that, I remember my first CD I bought with my own saved money.
Yeah.
I had my brother, I think my brother, my mom,
Yeah.
was Big Timers.
No.
Cash Money.
Oh.
Cash Money, Big Timers
No
with Baby
shit.
and Lil Wayne in
I-
front. The Bling Bling. No, it wasn't Bling Bling.
That was a good one though.
Fuck.
That was a good
I
one.
think it was just Cash Money Big Timers.
Yeah.
Baby and Manny Fresh. My bad. I misspoke on Baby and Manny Fresh. That was, and it was the unedited.
It's very interesting that you say that because, and you purchased it. You said it from that Walmart location.
No, it was. It was before we got there.
Okay, yeah. So
before we moved, I think.
So this have been in Austin somewhere or something?
Yeah, it had to be. It had to be.
Yeah.
Because I remember that being like, I felt big shit with that CD. Because when we got to the Lockhart, realizing that all those CDs were just bullshit.
Yeah.
And now you're controlling, like, come on, you know, that was like, this is gold in my hands right now.
That's interesting that you bring up a Cash Money CD because I remember when we had moved, we left Austin, we had moved into our house, and I believe it was, I don't remember what year it was that we had started living there already. We took a vacation. My family took a vacation to, I want to say the Valley, Texas, the Valley, Brownsville, McAllen area.
Okay.
And we were staying with some cousins, and they were, one was older, and one was like the same age. Okay. And we went to the mall. And this all ties into the CD and the Cash Money as well. I wanted to purchase. I forget what the and if you could look. Hey, try and look this up.
Okay.
It was a No Limit. So it was a Master P joint, I believe. It was a dual disc. No Limit Soldiers. It might have been the album, but no, I think No Limit Soldiers was like the tag name, right?
Yeah, that was their
No Limit. It was a dual disc. That's what I do know.
Yeah, it was.
You remember it? Had a tank on the front.
Yeah, and then you open it and there's a CD.
Yeah.
They had that plastic piece in the middle.
Yeah.
Masterpiece.
What was it called? We do, hey, ladies and gentlemen, we do have not necessarily a fact checker here, but my guest, Aaron, he's also working. He brought his rig, his little laptop here, and he's working data. So we got a little improvement from last time, ladies and gentlemen. So
I do want to say it was.
Let me check it out because it was like
Master
orange
P,
on the front.
The Last Dawn is a dual CD.
Let's see. Go to the images. Go to the images there. Let's see.
True.
No, take it down. Double CD. Dang it, people. Was it Master P then? It had to have been Master P. I don't see it.
Because this is the one that had Mr. Ice Cream Man.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that one.
Okay.
No Limit. So it was a No Limit one.
It looked like this, right? The tank.
Yeah. Type in No Limit CD. See what we get there. Ooh. No Limit Records CDs or something like that. See what you got. I forget what it was, but I'm positive that it was like orange on the cover.
Okay.
Dang, I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it. Somebody out there knows.
Somebody out there knows.
Yeah, get with them. We can't.
All right, yeah. It didn't work this time. Let me
do a more general
Let's see
search.
what you got. It will work in the future. Let's see.
The No Limit Soldier compilation.
No, I don't think it was a compilation.
You know what comes to mind when you say orange?
Yeah.
Is Cash Money 400 Degrees.
No. Yeah, I know that one. That one's not.
Wait, it was Hot Boys, right?
But it wasn't. I know Hot Boys for sure, but it wasn't. I'm almost positive it was Master P. I was positive. I don't see it. Man, it might have because that's just a cover.
Yeah. Dang.
Well, yeah, Freaks and Geeks. If you know the one I'm talking about, let us know. But it wasn't a compilation. It was I don't want to say legit release, but you know, compilations are just like a collection of already released content or unreleased content. Dang, we'll look that one up. Yeah. But anyways, let's move on. So we've talked about like childhood and stuff. We've talked about this town that we were scooped up from the big city. And when I'm just say that jokingly, people, this would have been Austin in the 90s. It was still good. No skyscrapers in sight. There was a beautiful. Do you remember that building? It's still there. That has like the blue neon. Oh, looks like stairs.
Right.
I love that. Yeah. I swore there was a red one. But there's not. I don't think so.
I mean, could they change the colors?
No, because the blue one's still there. The blue one's slam. Yeah, I think it's still there. And that's one of the best.
That's right there on Congress and South on Cesar Chavez. Yeah.
I love that building.
Have you been to the eatery down there?
Oh, which one?
It's called the Eatery. There's about 4 or 5 restaurants under that building now. Under it. Yeah, you have to walk down into the courtyard and go under the cool building.
I tried going there and I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. I was like, man, there's not enough for me. Yeah. I was
and
thinking
they have a huge bar.
Yeah, they do. They do. I know we got something there. I think. I believe Easy Tiger has like pretzel stand down there, and I think we got that. Yeah. But no, I was when I visited there, I was thinking like if you go to New York, sometimes there's these there's 2 that I can think of. Okay. One's just like a large, I guess you could call it a market space.
Okay.
And it's an enclosed market space, and there's just a bunch of just little restaurants that you don't necessarily... Very food court in a mall but better quality.
Gotcha.
There's that level, and then there's also an institution by the name of Italy in New York.
Italy?
The eatery? Italy.
Oh,
I think it's
Italy. Yeah. That's a Batali spot.
Yeah. NYC stand up. Shout out. We love that place when my wife and I went there. So that's what I was hoping for, and it didn't turn out like that. I would, in all honesty, I like the dining quarters at a Central Market a lot. Yeah, those were really good.
Yeah, I would say that place, the eatery that I was talking
bad, but I needed more diversity in the stuff that
it's not as developed as some other places. Probably because
it's a good attempt.
I would assume it's because we have a great eating culture here. But as far as the infrastructure,
it's not. But they're trying to.
Yeah.
They're trying to, like, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening, remember I dropped a date at the beginning of the podcast. In Austin right now, they're trying to do this development to where they're trying to expand their tram system. You could call it tram. It's not a subway. It's just a kind of like a rail line. They only have one, and it's not good. It only goes north, and it only goes south, and a little bit further north sometimes. So it does nothing essentially.
And it closes really early.
Closes super early.
It's done at like 6
It doesn't give you change. You got to have exact change or the app. And sometimes it doesn't even go to its furthest north stop. Yeah. It doesn't even take you to the airport. So what the hell are we using it for? But I don't know. There's talks of expanding it to running more north and south routes and some east and west and some just routes. And there's also discussion of expansion to like an underground. So who knows? It's going to take forever.
In theory, in my mind, I feel like if y'all spent the money to go a little bit further or a little bit more south, that thing probably would have paid for it 2 or 3 times over already.
It stops downtown. Yeah. Stops downtown, and then it goes way, way, way super duper north. Yeah. Who knows how many miles? Way out there and back. Yeah, and that's all it does.
I mean, because you cut out half the city.
Yeah.
Market for that.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's what's the word I'm looking for?
It's a redundant system.
Yeah. Bongos. I think Regis Philbin uses this guy's bonkers or bongos or something like that. Speaking of like rail lines, the DFW rail line's amazing. I don't know if you've ever ridden that one. That one's really good, man. You can pick it up and like there's one in Denton called the Dart Line, and that's kind of it's Denton's own. But the Dart Line bleeds into the I forget what the
is it underground?
No, it's all above ground, but it really gets shit done over there.
Yeah,
because you can take like say we're in Denton, you can take the Dart Line from Denton and bleed into a route that goes to Fort Worth.
Okay.
So it like the Denton line will end, but you'll get off that train and then get on the train that covers that covers Fort Worth and Dallas.
Yeah.
And it'll take you to downtown Dallas.
Nice, man.
And it'll take you to downtown Fort Worth.
It's an efficient system.
Yeah. It's got a nice big circle and it gets stuff done. But the one in Austin currently is hot garbage. But I hope they're trying to do things. So, you were in the military, right?
Yeah. I served 4 years in the military.
Nice.
Army.
Yeah, excellent. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Where was your boot camp at?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. No shit. Yeah. So you graduate, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many days after did you dip?
Let's see. I graduated.
South Carolina. Had you
maybe a year after that?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Okay.
I didn't like fucking just ship off.
Yeah, but did you enlist like relatively in the same time frame as after you graduated?
So during graduation, I had plans to go. We had Marine recruiters at LHS.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's where I was going.
Yeah,
right. I was on the delayed entry program.
Oh yeah.
And probably about a couple months before I was going to go, my recruiter got hemmed up.
Yeah.
He got hemmed up. He got in some trouble. And I just never, I guess I never finished doing whatever, signing up. I mean, I assumed that being in that entry program was me signing my life away, but apparently it wasn't. Mm-hmm. So I stayed back, got a job, working at fast food. Mm-hmm. And then
what was that? Which one?
I worked at Domino's and Whataburger.
Damn.
Yeah. I ended up being an assistant manager at Domino's.
Avoid the noid. Yeah, that's cool.
I was an assistant manager at Domino's after Whataburger. Mm-hmm. And then I realized I'm only 19. I don't want to fuck. They were like, hey, do you want your store? And blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, what? Mm-hmm. I felt trapped. And I felt like if I was to do that, I was going to be stuck, And I didn't want to be stuck.
We're talking about the Domino's by
the Domino's
by Movie Gallery.
Yes, yeah.
Then I had to have seen you there because I don't get down with Domino's
again. This
anymore.
is.
I had to have seen you there, dude. Because my parents would always be like, "Go get Domino's," and I liked it then.
This
was
what,
good.
13, 15 years ago.
For sure.
So, yeah.
But it's quite possible because
it's
very possible. It's very possible. Again, just a little tie in the connection of that Disney line. Right. So awesome, man. So back to I guess. So you said that you had some time. It was kind of delayed because that dude that got hemmed up. So like
worked at the fast food places, and then Then I started to really try to find a career path. Yeah, which was automotive stuff.
Yeah, nice.
And then I worked at an oil change place and started getting more familiar with that type of stuff.
The pit.
Yeah, and then after that, I started to do more body work. Yeah, or I wanted to. So I worked in this other place, which I got fired from.
Yeah, on your day off, stealing boxes?
No. I think it was what was it? I think I was just inefficient.
Oh yeah.
It was rightly so.
Breathing in too much air.
I was 19. Yeah, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was just around.
A lot of import, but not enough export.
Yeah. There was, and I was just too much of a liability for that place. You know, they were doing pick jobs.
Yeah. Drop an engine on your head or something like that.
Or fuck up nice truck or nice. They did a lot of They did a lot of semi work as well.
Oh, that's big stuff.
And
that's risky business.
I've riveted panels onto 18-wheelers for hours at a time. Mm-hmm. Where you have to hold that fucking hammer and you walk away.
Walk away shaking.
And your body's just shaking for a day or so after that.
Still going.
After 8 hours, 10 hours of
crazy.
Hammering. And once I got fired from there, I remember the phone call to my mom that I didn't know I got fired.
Yeah.
I told her, I'm just going to the fucking military.
Yeah.
And I put that shoe back on, and I think not even 6 months after that, I was gone.
North Carolina.
South Carolina.
South Carolina, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. South Carolina, had you, at that point in life, at that point in time in your life, can you think back, like, had you left the state of Texas? And if you've had you gone that far east?
No.
So no to both?
Yeah, no to both.
Okay, no to both. Crazy. Yeah. So you're picked up and just shipped on out to the South Carolinas. Mm-hmm. And how long's boot camp?
What was it, like? I think they're 12 weeks, something like that.
Yeah. And that's for what? My apologies. The branch you said Army, right?
Army. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah. All those weeks you've never done. Let me ask you this, because I know one guy, an individual that I know from my past. He went like after he graduated, like the summer after. Yeah. The summer after, and where am I going with this? The summer after, and he was like preparing physically. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you do any of that?
I think some, I wasn't.
Yeah.
Because I got built when I was in.
Did you throw up in boot camp?
Did I ever throw up? Yeah, we did forced hydration.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
We did forced hydration.
You want to explain that to people that don't know?
Yeah, so that's shoving water down your throat at an immense volume without stopping. Mm-hmm. You're forcing yourself to be hydrated, which can kill you. Which can kill you if you do it to an extent. But we did that just because we needed to.
Yeah, the purpose of that forced hydration is because you're gonna hump all that, right?
Yeah, because a lot of us were 19,
and that's what
18.
You call it, right? Humping.
Did like ruck marching and stuff.
Yeah, that's what it's called, right?
Yeah, but at 18, 19, 20, we're not drinking as much as we should. They know that, so they force you to do these things. Yeah.
Now, when you got, this wouldn't be at boot camp because boot camp would be like straight arrow, right? Like when you got to where you were going after boot camp. So you left boot camp. No, you leave boot camp and you come back home for a little bit, right? Or do you go to your station?
Did I come home? No, I left straight from there, dude. Yeah.
Okay, so you left South Carolina.
I probably didn't come home for 6 months.
Where were you stationed?
I went to Maryland.
Yeah.
Baltimore. Well, Aberdeen, Maryland.
Aberdeen. Okay.
That's like, I guess it's like an hour away from Baltimore.
Yeah. I despise the Ravens, but I love Edgar Allan Poe. So shout out Edgar Allan Poe, and big shout out to this next guy, Baltimore native as well, Dan Bell. Appreciate what you do, bud. You're doing some good content. Dan Bell.
Shout out Dan Bell.
That's just on the Baltimore talk.
Gotcha.
But man, that's crazy. So how long were you in Baltimore for?
I did 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah. That was.
Oh, so you were stationed there for 6 months and then you were shipped off?
Yeah, because that's like your school.
Standard. Yeah.
That's like you're doing more schooling there. Yeah. You're doing more training.
Yeah, more prepping. The first one was just to weed you out.
And I had a blast.
Yeah.
There,
Yeah, it's much easier, right?
Yeah, it's a great time. We got to actually go out and see shit and see Baltimore and
it's a
just
lot of
the coast.
cold.
Yeah, dude, it was nice up there, man. It was nice. I mean, I know it has its issues, but there's parts that we're not supposed to go to. Don't go to these areas.
Yeah.
Don't go here and there. But
there's a spot. Let me ask you this: Do you know what Lincoln Park is? Lincoln Park.
Lincoln Park.
Lincoln Park.
I've never been there.
It's in Baltimore.
Huh?
Yeah, it's a really creepy like park. It's not like a Zolker Park. No, it's in the creepy woods. It's got a drive in it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, really creepy park.
Yeah. No.
A lot of murders go down there as well. It's very paranormal. I feel out there.
Yeah. Wow.
You should check that out. You should. What you should do is like look up the location of it and then see how close you are to it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Awesome, man. So you did your station in Baltimore, Boo Ravens. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. And station for 6 months, and then where do you go?
Where did I go? After Baltimore, I believe I came to Fort Hood.
Really? Okay. So you do your schooling in that location, and then what are they?
I'm wrong. After Baltimore, I came home for maybe a week.
What do they call that? A rack down? What do they call it?
Just your leave.
Leave. Okay.
Yeah. And I went to Korea.
Oh, right after that.
Yeah.
No.
I came home for a week.
A week.
I remember that because
Holy fuck.
When I left Baltimore, came home, I was here for a few days.
Yeah.
And I just remember I got an email that with a flight, with an itinerary. There was
a fucking flight ticket?
No.
No.
I bought my ticket to the airport.
Yeah.
The night before I was leaving.
Yeah.
I didn't even know where the fuck I was going.
Korea.
I got my orders and I was like, oh shit, Baltimore. They're like, you got to be at Baltimore at this spot at this time.
Oh, so you were back in Texas?
Yeah.
And then you had to get a ticket to Baltimore?
I thought I was under the impression they're sending me the tickets. They're sending me all this shit.
Oh.
Not the case. I got the email that said where I had to be. I had to fucking be there.
And that's just to get to Baltimore, right?
And well, that put me back on a plane to go.
But they take care of that.
No, I paid it out of pocket. Cause
from where though?
From here.
Yeah. From Texas here, to Baltimore, is that from you?
From here, after Baltimore, I came here. The day before I found out I got my orders. I thought all that shit was taken care of. I just had to show up at the airport.
The ABIA.
Yeah. And they're like, no, you need to buy a ticket.
Yeah.
And so I bought a ticket the night before I was leaving.
Yeah. To Baltimore.
No, to fly out to Korea.
From Austin?
Yeah. So I bought a ticket to go to Dallas. And from Dallas, that's where I picked up. That's the only
international or what?
That's where I picked up my orders to fly to Korea.
Oh my goodness. But okay, so those orders are paid.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I had to actually, not to Baltimore, I had to get to Dallas on my own.
Okay.
And so I got there and they're like, yeah, that's when my flight was. I was like, oh,
but did you know when you were flying to Dallas, did you know that you were going to Korea?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
So the mission is
and
get your ass to Dallas and then you're dipping off to Korea.
Yeah. So I went to Dallas and I flew from Dallas to New York, back all the way to Seattle.
Oh.
And then from Seattle, I went to Korea. Dang. Yeah. So I flew over the country this way and then all the way that way. Yeah.
And then that flight is booked with all of the what would you call it? Enlisted men? Is that what you call it?
Yeah, there was some people in uniform and stuff like that.
But it's no civilian.
It's not. It's a civilian flight. Yeah.
Oh,
it's a civilian flight. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, it wasn't a. It wasn't like a C-130 or anything. We flew out from
747 or what?
It was a big ass bus.
Yeah.
Bus.
Jeez,
yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. But there were people going the same place you were going?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang. That's crazy. So you're in Korea. What the fuck? What's that? What next?
Culture shock, bro.
Hell yeah.
And then I just roamed the country.
Because you hadn't even been out of Texas.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
And so you hadn't been out of Texas. You made one stop in South Carolina, one stop in Baltimore. You came back, fucking try to get your shit together and think, and then you said, hey, You need to go down to Dallas because you're gonna take the foot. You're gone. You're out of here.
Yeah.
Jeez. And how long were you in Korea?
A little over a year.
Over a year.
No.
Did you learn any Korean?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
you remember any of that stuff?
Not a lot.
No.
Yeah. I guess I can.
Onion. No?
Yeah, like 안녕하세요.
Oh shit.
아저씨.
Yeah.
When you talk to it's like showing respect to the cab drivers, the older men. You call them 아저씨 and stuff. Yeah, it was just.
That's cool.
When I was there, I picked up more of it, but again, that stuff. If you don't use it, you lose it.
For sure. That's awesome. That's awesome. I've never been out of the country aside from like going to Mexico from just areas in Texas.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Damn, that's awesome. Korea. Where did you? So what I want to do now is maybe kind of briefly. Can you tell me? Excuse me. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me where you went after Korea and how many other stops it took you to get back to the States?
Oh man, I can't. I don't even.
I remember.
I know it was one long ass flight.
No, not necessarily flights, but like assignments.
Oh. After Korea, I had a choice. Mm-hmm. Well, I was assigned to El Paso. I was supposed to go to El Paso.
After Korea?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
And I wrote up I requested if I was going to be in Texas, I would like to be closer to home.
Mm-hmm. Because that's way out there.
Yeah.
You ever been there?
No. Yeah. Luckily, yeah. So I was like,
I spent a month there one night.
If I'm going to be in Texas, I don't want to be 8 or 9 hours away from home. I want to be just an hour or so. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So I requested Fort Hood.
What did they say?
3 months after I got to Fort Hood, I went to Iraq. Yeah. That was. If I would have went to El Paso, I probably never would have been deployed.
No shit.
But I chose to go to.
Why do you think that? Why is that?
Because the unit I was assigned with in El Paso, I just kind of checked track of them. Yeah. And they deployed a year after I got out. Dang. So I would have been in El Paso for 6 years.
You would have been out, right?
And never been seeing anything else, dude. So I was.
Man, that would have been crazy. Because on the note of El Paso, shout out Chico's Tacos, and El Paso High, you creepy motherfucker. El Paso High School's creepy as shit. Okay, well, man, that's awesome, bud. I think I want to move on. I appreciate you telling me telling me that information about your service duties.
My travels.
Thank you for serving as well, man. Appreciate it.
Of course, man. Of course. Thank you.
So let's kind of lighten the mood a little bit, all you freaks and geeks out there. My next question for you.
Or dive deeper.
Let's talk automobiles. Cruising around in my automobile. Okay. Do you remember your first automobile? That was, like you were the driver of it?
Oh, yeah. It was a 92 Camry.
Yeah. Toyota?
Yeah.
2 or 4-door?
4-door.
4-door.
Yeah.
92. You said 92?
Yeah.
CD or tape? You remember that?
Oh. I don't remember that. Man, I don't remember that. Well, it had to be CDs. Mm-hmm. It had to have it. I bought a deck for it.
Oh, yeah? You switched it out?
Yeah, that's what happened. That's cool. I remember that. I bought a deck for it.
You remember the color of the automobile? Camera?
Black.
Yeah. Nice. Electric windows or roll-up windows? For y'all at the crib, y'all know roll-up windows.
We had electric.
Nice.
Yeah, we had electric. Yeah.
Nice.
That was awesome.
Did it have a key, automatic unlock?
No,
automatic unlock, right? You had to key that motherfucker. Yeah. Man, yeah. Awesome.
There was no boop, boop.
No, that's great. The white Camry. Did it have do you remember? I know this is getting really detailed today, but did it have a shitload of miles when you were done with it?
Man, I don't. Yeah. I wrecked it.
Oh,
yeah, damn. I wrecked it. I don't remember. Yeah. The miles and stuff. Man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I wrecked it.
Did you like it, or were you wanting something better?
No, dude, that was.
You love that jammer?
Everything.
That was a jammer?
Yeah, that's cool. Was everything to me, man. I do remember. It had a quad cam button, so I don't know what it did, but it always felt like if I hit that, I was flying. I was just fucking flying, man.
I don't know what the quad cam is.
I mean, yeah, it obviously gave you a little bit more power.
Yeah. Like, I think they call that sport in the Mazda realm. Right.
Because it normally ran on 2.
Yeah.
And then you put that quad and you're like, fucking, it just felt like you were the shit, man.
Yeah. No, I'm a V8 guy myself. Well, awesome. A little white Camry. You said white Camry, right? White?
No, black.
Excuse me. Black. My apologies. Black Camry. I barely remember what I had for breakfast. All right. So cool. That's a little automobile talk. Here's one more, and then we'll see what we get into next. We're making good on time. Here we go. Okay. So, do you like to go out into like the city and like nightlife and stuff?
I used to be.
Yeah,
I used to be. I used to be someone that was always out, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, always in the parties, at the clubs, and doing all that. But as I don't know, as I grew older, it's not my scene no more.
Yeah,
you know?
I hear you. I hear you. With that said, since you've just described all of your travels and going here and there and up and down, left and right, do you remember, or have you ever thought of like your favorite bar in existence that you've patroned or visited?
Man,
I could tell you mine, and you could think on it if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so mine, man, there is I'll give you 2.
Okay,
I'll give you Old World. That is like a I don't know how to explain it, but like an institution. Okay. It's a solid. It's a institution of bars for the entire, like, I don't know. It's just groundbreaking, and it's still there. And then I'll give you the one that I
how old is it?
Good question. Let's look this up while I tell you. It is in New York City. I believe it is in the Lower East Side.
Okay.
It's called McSorley's. So check out McSorley's pub, I believe. It's an Irish pub. Now, the reason there is a chair in...
Good name.
Definitely. And I'll tell you a little bit more story about it.
Okay.
Just get that. I believe it's the oldest pub in the country because they have a chair in there that Abraham Lincoln sat on. Honest Abe sat in. And
Give me the name one more time.
McSorley's Ale House. McSorley's Ale House. I believe it's in the Lower East Side, Manhattan.
Got it. Old Ale House.
What year was it established? 18-something?
Let's see.
Because I believe they have wishbones hung on a line in the bar, collected with dust, and these wishbones were placed there by soldiers, I believe, for it wouldn't have been Civil War, but it was probably World War. No, if a Lincoln. So could have been Civil War that they hung these.
It was established.
Yeah.
In 1854. And a New York Tribune article from 1895 states that it stood 40 years prior. So you're talking.
So it had to be
couple hundred.
I don't think it would have been the American. It wouldn't have been the Revolution. It would have been the Civil War then. Yeah. That these soldiers, before they were shipped out to fight, they had these wishbones that they were going to leave. That they left up there, and if they returned, they cracked it and made a wish.
Oh wow!
Well, there's still wishbones on the line.
Wow!
From that.
That.
Now
that's a statement.
Yeah,
that is a big statement.
I'll describe it a little bit more for you. You can only purchase 2 types of alcohol there, and you have to purchase them in 2s. They will not sell you one single beer. Again, shout out McSorley's Ale House, Lower East Side, Manhattan. I have one of your cups. I took it. I love you. I can't wait to get back there. But.
I'm not bringing the cup back.
No. I'm not bringing the cup back. I won't steal one next time, or will I? But, you have to buy either 2 lights or 2 darks.
Okay.
And it's a light beer or dark beer, and they're probably about like 8 ounces a piece in these little glass. They're not pint glasses; they're like mugs.
Okay.
Yeah, and they also sell like cheese in crackers with onion plates. Okay. And I think they sell burgers too.
All right.
Super old school joint. Yeah, man. It looks great. Let me see.
Let me see. 200-year-old burger.
Let me see what it looks like real quick. It's great. No, the burgers aren't 200 years old. They're made fresh.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's what. Did you think of yours?
You know, I don't think I've ever
looking at a picture of McSorley's Ale House right now.
I don't think I've ever
that's good.
Patroned a bar at the degree that you just did.
Yeah. But buddy, that was only one instance, and it left that. I went that there much of one an impression night. On yes, yeah. It's a beautiful occurrence. Shout out. I don't know if I can. I won't say his name, but he is a Harris County, River Oaks native. Shout out to you, buddy. You took me there, and you're gonna be the guest on the podcast on Rosh Hashanah, so we can't wait. Shout out. Nice. But yeah, I only went there once.
I have an impact at a bar left on me that is nowhere near as historical and reverent as that. But there was a bar in Baltimore called the Red
No, that's still
Room.
That's still old. That's still old age. That's cool. Keep going.
It's called the Red Room. They have, I guess it's more of a strip bar.
Like, what do you mean, a strip club?
Like, almost like a Coyote Ugly is kind of what I remember from it. There's just girls dancing on the bar.
Like go-go dancers? Or with breastises?
Like breastises.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And it left a bitter taste in my mouth because we walked in and...
Well, did the establishment leave a bitter taste or the girls leave a bitter taste in your mouth?
Let's just say I walked in, sat down, and the first ass that was on the bar...
Was there a pimple on?
In front of my face. Mind you, they're just lined up down the bar.
Yeah.
Was covered in huge Band-Aid.
Yeah.
And...
That's not good.
It had a small blood spot on
it. Oh. That's gross.
It was just on the right cheek.
Yeah.
And I knew that it had to be a hepatitis shot.
Oh, man.
Or a penicillin shot.
That's
I don't know why this woman had that Band-Aid on it.
Yeah.
But we walked the fuck out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was... I can't say that it's the best bar that I've ever been to, and I'm not going to say it's the best experience I've ever had at a bar, but I will never forget that.
Yeah.
I will never forget that,
That's
man.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Again,
that's an experience for sure.
It was not the right kind of experience you want to have from a bar, but it left an impression on me about the strip clubs or the strip bars or whatever it is down there. Yeah. It was one of those things where I look back on and say, I'm glad I walked out.
Yeah. I hear you. I hear you. I definitely can understand that. Well, I know you wanted to talk a deep subject, man, and I think we can get into it. So you wanted to talk about like train of thought. You wanted to talk about like mental being, mental state. Yes, you want to talk about consciousness. You want to talk about life.
You know that
when it goes up and when it goes down.
Yeah, you know that seems like it could be. It's pretty prevalent in today. Especially with everything that's going on right now.
For sure. I think you got to be in a good mental space.
Yeah, and
now.
I think a lot of people are waking up and either realizing things that they may have.
Wake up! They're what? They're realizing?
I think a lot of people are realizing how important it is to have self-awareness.
Yeah, for sure.
And
self-awareness.
Be centered.
Yes.
In today's society.
Yes, I definitely agree. I don't know. Just the main man Bruce Lee comes to mind when about being self-aware and being focused on yourself and humble and open-minded and ready for anything, ready to take on anything. Just striving for an overall improvement of yourself. Right. And I might be veering off, but I don't think I am. In all honesty, I don't want to be better than anybody else. I just want to be better than myself yesterday.
Right.
That's my train of thought. Right. But in that train of thought, you do have to understand that, like, you can't take that approach and be, highfalutin individual. You can't take that approach and be a big-headed individual. You have to be a free-spirited individual. You have to be someone that will accept and understand and try and make positive of the situation. So, right. Because I feel, and I take this approach from a meditation course I've been taking during this time, because I feel like this time's a great time to learn all you can, learn a lot of things that you haven't familiarized yourself with in the past, or learn something or attempt something that you've never done.
Right.
But make sure you're putting your all in it. Work your tail off at it, but also be open-minded in the fact that you will do it wrong at some point in time, and learning from that, I don't want to call them mistakes, but learning from those errors that don't produce a positive outcome, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah. So what I've had most of this last year is time.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of us have.
Time seems to be the key factor in finding those mental spaces where
definitely
you actually learn from yourself.
Yeah.
And you learn who you are.
Yeah.
It's not for the faint of heart.
Definitely.
It's not for the faint of heart to dive into your mind and realize, what you want out of life.
Yeah.
And as far as consciousness goes, I don't believe that there is a singularity to consciousness. I think it's ever expanding, and I think your spirit in itself is constantly evolving.
Definitely. So, there's the approach of finite and infinite,
right,
as well. There's the approach of if our vessel passes, it's that we either restart and do it again and reach enlightenment, and then once we reach this enlightenment, we are not necessarily done, but we've reached enlightenment.
Yeah.
Versus kicking the bucket, going into a box, going into a hole, and be gone for the rest of your life. Yeah. My approach is that you may leave the vessel, but if you didn't reach enlightenment, you're going to come back. It's not like a purgatory thing, but it's not another chance thing either. But it is, it is a chance of some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not done. You have not reached that enlightenment. I take that away from one of my studies in college, and I really get down with that view.
Yeah.
In all honesty, yeah.
I am fairly certain that our spirit has infinite growth potential.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you don't constantly connect with your spirit in meditation and just being mindful in how you respond, and to certain situations, you be mindful in the knowledge that you are partaking in, the learning that you are partaking in. It has to speak to a certain part of you for you to actually benefit from it.
Definitely.
So,
and you want to utilize in your practice or in your existence, if I may.
Right. And so doing it on a consistent basis with everything you do, I think, and enlightenment, I think isn't a goal.
No.
To me, I think enlightenment is a constant perseverance of a sort of atonement.
Yeah.
Because enlightenment to me, I don't, it's not the end game. It's not the end all for consciousness or for being.
Yeah.
It's just the path that you are on. You're on an enlightened path.
Yeah.
And I find I have grown fond of meditating.
It's great.
In baths.
Oh, and have you ever done that float?
I haven't.
I want to do that.
But that's something that I really want to get to.
The first time I ever saw that was on a Simpsons episode.
Yeah.
Lisa and Homer go and do that, and I was like, holy shit. I think Homer like trips out and sees like a fox, and like the whole thing of it is, the same thing of like just finding your purpose, or like not necessarily your niche, but like, completing the circle, if I may.
So I started taking baths.
Yeah.
Because I have a back injury.
Yeah.
And it was just something to alleviate that.
Yeah.
And it helped. It was great. But then I started reading and finding how powerful water is. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. For sure. It can be very powerful. Yeah. I've thought I think it's called a horticulturist. My apologies if I butchered it.
Horticulturist?
Horticulturist, sure. Yeah, we're a little plant guy. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking, I've got a bonsai plant, so that's really, Zen. I've got a bonsai plant, and it is out of respect named after Stephen Brody Stevens. Love you, buddy. Miss you. And I also have a collection of rosemary. I've got about six rosemaries, but I have one large rosemary, and that one is named Ralphie May. Love you too, bud. We miss you. But where am I going with this?
Bonsai plant.
Power
of water.
Yes, the power of water in the watering of the plants. Thank you very much. Yeah. So when I go and I water these plants, you have to understand, and this goes back to the power of water, that you can open this valve and open a little trickle of water to give to your plants to grow. And that's the valve open at that certain, phase. Mm-hmm. But if you open the valve too much, you can kill the plant by destroying the root ball with too much, not necessarily drowning the root, but the pressure of the water being too much. Mm-hmm. If you put what are they called? The pressure, like if I were to water my plants with the pressure washer, plant's done. Yeah. And yeah, I definitely agree. But I also if you go to a stream, right, there's a lot of energy in that water, but that energy can be a positive or a negative thing, because that energy can give life, or in the drowning sense, can take life.
Yeah. And water has always been used as a sort of gateway to expand.
Yeah, definitely.
And like you were saying with the plant, have you ever watched? I think a great analogy. I'm not saying this is what I do, but a great analogy for how I use water. Have you ever seen Constantine?
That's with
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, only like twice.
So there's
a little hazy for me.
There's a part in there where Constantine has to put his feet in water in a water bucket, and he's holding a cat, and to ascend or descend into the realm he needs to go to. Yeah. He needs he needs that water. Mm-hmm. And this allows him to connect to that realm because it's a free flowing realm. Yeah. And another good instance that water is used in is Inception. When he's falling back into the he uses it to shock himself back into life.
That's right. I forgot about that.
The analogy in that is that water breaks the barriers of what's around us. Yeah. It transcends the physical matter that we're in. People who can't walk can walk in water. Yeah.
You got to remember, it's crazy.
That's just an example. I'm not saying that water gives people the power to walk,
but don't we start off in a liquid and or water when we are in our mothers?
Right. Yeah. And we are water.
Yeah.
We are that. And
for sure.
The tides of the ocean, they move with the moon. Water is a very powerful thing. So I started to meditate in water.
Yeah. That's cool.
Submerge myself and just be able to breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
And, keep your nose out. And I have come to terms with, I can't say, well, what am I trying to say? I have seen things in that meditation that I know I would not have seen just sitting quietly in my room.
Yeah.
I mean,
you have a blank state or slate of consciousness.
Yeah, and
it's like
I've seen the fractals.
Yeah,
in that, dude. I mean, I've seen eyes.
Yeah.
There's an old belief in native cultures that say that you can never see a face that you've never seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in the state of unconsciousness, when you do meditate and you touch that part of your life, they say that you see things that want to see you.
Yeah.
So I've been in states of meditation where I've seen faces that I can't recognize.
Yeah.
I've seen eyes that have no face.
Yeah.
And it speaks to a part of ourselves that we have that in us.
Yeah.
We just have to connect with it.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
It's a state that people try to attain with.
Because I do definitely agree that there are portions of our mind that, they're not. I don't not necessarily locked, but there are corners of the mind that don't get utilized.
Right.
There's a small fraction of the mind that we are utilizing right now, but we ain't using the whole thing.
Right. And being in those states can, I mean, if you're not connected to yourself spiritually and solidified enough in your knowledge that these things are present, but they're not going to
occur for you.
They're not going to hurt you.
Oh, okay.
They're there.
Yeah.
Just in our physical, we can't see them.
Yeah.
And if you can kind of separate your fear. And that's what a lot of the meditation is. It handles fear. It handles anxieties. And when we start to develop a sense of self and we start to develop our mental to respond to those things.
Center? Would you call it a center?
Yeah, when you become more centered, you can respond to them better.
Yeah.
And I think that's
I agree with that.
That's kind of
I like that.
That's kind of where I'm at.
That's cool.
I don't fear seeing something that I can't explain.
Yeah.
I don't fear seeing something that I normally don't see. I just understand that it's there and I respect the presence, or I respect my presence being there.
Yeah, I get down with that.
And to see how that to come out of that and know that, man,
this could lead so many ways. This could lead
because
to alien. I unfortunately we're got to wrap this up in a few seconds, but this could lead to alien talk. This could lead to UFO theories. This could lead to paranormal talk, paranormal theories.
The light beings, there's.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I have one more question for you. Okay. I asked this question to my last guest.
Yeah.
And if you didn't hear the episode of the podcast, please go do that and like and subscribe on Apple Podcast. But my final question for you, Aaron, is: you are stranded on a desert island. You get to choose three of each of these different forms of media or forms of information, if you will.
Okay.
So you get 3 movies, 3 books, or 3 musical albums to take with you to the desert island for the rest of all in eternity. What are you going to go with?
I would.
And if you can't can't think of movies, books, or album, you don't necessarily have to answer all 3. You can just pick the book or 3 books and or 3 albums and or 3 movies. I'll open up with I'll give you books because I gave the people at home albums last week. And if you don't remember, or if you don't know what those are, again, go back to the last episode of the podcast. That was number 1. But for books, for some reason, this book really hits home with me, and I like it. It's F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby. Nice, I dig that. Nice. And we read that in high school, I believe. And for some reason, it just went with me all the way down the line. I really dig his writing style. I would say after I take that, what else? Kitchen Confidentials by Anthony Bourdain. I'm going to choose that one. Kitchen Confidentials by Anthony Bourdain.
I have a favorite Bourdain book too.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. And then let's talk about the last one. The last one I've been reading lately. And I won't choose like one from my childhood youth, but this one's really good. It's the Keith Richards, I believe. I don't know if it's a memoir or biography. I think it's a biography, but Keith Richards' life. I've been reading that one. It's really good. I dig that one. But yeah, Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, Kitchen Confidentials by Anthony Bourdain, and Life, the Keith Richards book. Yeah. So you don't have to do a book. You can do albums. You can do movies, whatever you want. But 3 of them to take to the desert island.
I think if I was on an island, I would prefer books or music over a movie or something. I know my first book would be the Graham Hancock's Fingerprint of the Gods.
Okay.
Just a constant reminder of what...
That's cool.
Yeah, just a constant reminder of what we don't know.
Yeah.
And stuff we're still learning.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, if you're going to sit on an island, you need to feed your thought process, your brain with, a constant survey of what you don't know so you don't get lost in that, Another one would be the Bourdain book that I talked about.
Was it comic,
earlier.
Right?
It's called Hunger Ghost. Hungry Ghost.
Hungry Ghost. Jeez,
yeah.
I need to get that.
Yeah, it's
I remember hearing about that. I think there's there's 2, bud. I'm almost positive there's 2 because I believe I tried to buy that at Name Drop Half Price Books in Austin, Texas, and they were like, "Yeah, we had it, but we don't have it anymore." But they were saying that there's I think there's more than one on the because that's like a. Would you call that like a what's it called?
Here it is right here, the Hungry Ghosts.
It's a graphic novel, right?
Yeah, and it has.
I need to get that.
It's a good book. It's a good book. Yeah.
Dang, that's awesome.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the last one.
His last book? It's quite possible, yeah. Yeah, it's quite possible. I think he got one more, right?
Hungry Ghost, and if I wanted to go, probably, I'm reading a book right now. Forgive me if I forget the author, but it's called Irrational Man. Let me look that up.
Irrational Man.
Yeah. Irrational Man.
Irrational Man. One that didn't make the list for me, and while you're looking this up, I'll say it. It is a sci-fi book. Okay. It's an alien abduction book. Communion by Whitley Strieber freaked me out when I read it. When we first moved into this house, in the backyard, it was just a bunch of pastures out there, and the bed in the bedroom would you would look out through the windows, and at the time it was we had just moved in, we didn't have curtains, and it was just pastures out there. And I was reading this book, and it was just so detailed and creepy about this individual's documentation about this individual's supposed alien abduction. And I was just like, but I'm gonna see that tonight. It was that detailed and spooky. But you got one more, right?
Yeah, so it's by William Barrett. And it's called Irrational Man, a study in existential philosophy.
Dang.
Yeah.
Those are great.
I'm probably only about a quarter away in it. I've had the book for...
Yeah, and these are all physical books, right?
Yeah, I've had this book for probably 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And this is my, just maybe the past month.
Yeah.
I opened it, and I was like, fuck it, I need something to read.
Yeah. And, again, the physical, I cannot state enough.
Yeah.
Get physical materials.
Yes,
Get physical books because these things can go away. Yeah. People can take them away. Okay, it's happened before, and I don't know anything about history, but I'm pretty sure it often repeats itself.
Yeah.
So keep those physical books, not the digital stuff.
Yeah, you want something tangible.
Yeah, for sure. That you can write in, make notes. I like to write in my books. Do you do that?
I have.
I underline
I do a lot of highlighting.
Yeah. I remember in one horror book, The Shining.
Yeah.
After every chapter, I would write like a summary.
Okay.
And then that book is also divided into like parts.
Okay.
So like at the end of part 1, I wrote just a summary of part 1. Mm-hmm. So like I can just go back and I won't read that again until I finish it.
Yeah.
But I know those are all my, I guess we would call them back in the day Spark Notes.
Yeah.
Personally written. But man, that's
you got. Well, let's do one. You got a CD or
you want one CD?
An album that you would take. Let's do one.
Oh, well, I did. You can do yours. I did mine last time. I'll tell you them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So for the freaks and geeks out there, last time my album, my 3 that I take to the desert island are, come on, bring it back. And I want to do it in the order. Rolling Stones, Sticky Fingers.
Okay.
The second album was Bob Dylan's Blood on the Tracks. And the third album is Buddy Guy's Stone Crazy, and they have to we can listen to it after when we close this thing up. It's a banger. Yeah. And all of you, the freaks and geeks out there, if you haven't heard those albums, go listen to them. But it's Buddy Guy, Stone Crazy, and my request / demand on those that I take is they have to be on vinyl. Ooh. They have to be on vinyl. While I do love the CD. Yeah. There is a process of listening to vinyl that you don't get with the CD. Yeah. The reason I love the CD is because you can take it in the car. Yeah, you can take it with you. Yeah. But that vinyl, it's very intimate with yourself. Yeah. Going back to the whole like consciousness thing, it's you. It's this life force yourself. You have this vinyl in your hands that has these, audio microscopic ridges, okay. And it when you have a piece of vinyl and it's just sitting there, it doesn't do anything. It's got this information on it, very similar
industrial
to yeah. But they have to be albums for me. What about you?
Have you ever heard this is pretty recent, have you ever heard of Tash Sultana?
No,
dude, I fell in love. Yeah. I fell in love with her album.
Yeah? No, I haven't heard her.
She's young. Yeah? She's probably 20.
Yeah?
Maybe 25.
Yeah.
She's right there. But I came across her on YouTube.
Yeah?
Tash Sultana. If you ever hear this, fuck. That album, there's
Which one?
It's right here.
Hit it.
Let's see. Tash, I came across it. It was one of those automatic plays on YouTube.
Oh, yeah?
That just came up. And I was like,
Tash Sultana.
And let's see, it's right here. Album is called Notion.
Yeah. Okay.
Notion. It's the EP.
Yeah.
And then Flow State is her
single.
Her studio album.
Yeah. Okay. Is that debut?
No, it's a couple years old.
No. Oh, okay.
It's
like
debut.
Yeah. That's her first album.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's your first. You got 2 more. What do you got?
Jimi Hendrix, The Experience.
Oh, that's a great one.
Jimi Hendrix, The Experience.
That's a great one.
And then...
It's beautiful.
Probably...
Richard Pryor, Live at the Sunset Strip?
Red Fox.
Oh, my goodness, Elizabeth.
Red Fox.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
My guy.
That's great. Red Fox, yeah.
But if it's just music, I would have...
Oh, yeah.
I'd say probably Ready to Die. Biggie.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
Something to fucking crank it up.
Hell yeah.
Just
10 crack commitments, 1.
Yeah.
That one's great.
So that way I got a spectrum of, because our moods they're on a scale.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Well,
for the whole spectrum.
We got the Jimi Hendrix pop in here. We got the Red Fox Sanford & Son pop in here. And we got the Notorious B.I.G. pop in here. That was not a Funko plug, but it could be. Funko, I do have a pop of myself, my wife, and I that we customized to be wedding toppers. So Funko, if you're listening, we want to be a sponsor. We want you to sponsor this podcast because we are. There is always a Funko Pop near in the podcast studio of life or of death. Well, freaks and geeks, that's all she wrote. Again, I want to thank my guest, Aaron Salviduro, for coming in for episode 2 of the Doctor's Orders podcast with the 512 Foot Doctor. And freaks and geeks, if you haven't already subscribed to the Doctor's Orders podcast with the 512 Foot Doctor on Apple Podcast or Buzzsprout.com, please do that as soon as possible. And while you're at Apple Podcasts, subscribing to the Doctor's Orders podcast with the 512 Foot Doctor, leave a rate, leave a comment, leave a like. Anything helps. Anything and everything helps from the freaks and geeks. Okay. And just a reminder, you can catch new episodes of the Doctor's Orders podcast with the 512 Foot Doctor every Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. sharp on Apple Podcast and Buzzsprout.com. Until next time, we'll see you on the next one. Don't be late.